questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
What's going on, people? Eagle-eyed football. Leeds United 1. FC Barcelona 5. No, big man thing, seriously. Leeds 1, Palace 5. And just like John Cena, Leeds couldn't see us in that second half because they didn't just get cooked. They didn't just get roasted or fried or sauteed. They got chefed. But before we get into that, big up Rich, big up JC, and making a long-awaited return to Eagle-eyed football. It's Kurt. How we doing, gents?
All good.
All good, thank you, mate. I hope you're all right.
All good.
Oh, we're buzzing. We're buzzing.
It's put it this way: it's hotter in London than it is in Greece right now, so that's funny. It's cold. It's cold.
I won't lie to you. It's not looking too promising at the moment.
It's not all that great in Dublin either, to be honest with you. It's not that great over here either, but it is what it is. We move, isn't it?
You know what? We need to keep it a buck with all the joy and stuff, right? Officially, on behalf of everyone on the channel, we would like to apologize to Roy Hodgson for our belated reaction to him getting appointed. He's cooking, you know. He is cooking. The football
you see how man was just walking around Leeds before the game? He was just chilling. man had a cheeky Nando's before kickoff, and he still packed them.
Honestly, unbelievable. I guess we can kick it off with the first half because first 20-25 minutes.
Well, hold on. Let's start with the lineup first, Rich. Let's start with the lineup first.
That's a good shot.
So 1 second.
Hamada's got a bit of a tough time to even get on the bench last two games, though, I have to say.
You know what I reckon that is? I just reckon Roy is just kind of choosing experienced players at the moment.
Okay, so the lineup was Sam Johnston in goal, making his first start for the club. Joe Ward, Mark Gay, Joachim Anderson, Tyrick Mitchell, Shet Doucouré, Jeffrey Schlupp, Ebere Eze, Michael Elise, Jordan Ayew, and Odson Edward, with a bench of Whitworth, Tompkins, Klein, Riedewald, Milivojevic, MacArthur, Hughes, Lokonga, and the thumb himself, Mr. Jean-Philippe Mateta. When I looked at that lineup, I was thinking Joel Ward at right back. Roy may regret that choice, but fair play to Wardy, he didn't do an awful lot. By the way, Mr. Referee, how does he get a yellow card when he won the ball? Needs to get looked at there, yeah? Because Specsavers might have to give you a phone call there, mate, yeah? Never a yellow card, but we move. But, Mark Gay. What a first half he had, because I'm not going to lie. I could hear some of you lot in the chat and people on Twitter. Yeah, he had a mare before the end of the first half. But let's be real. Sam Johnston made a number of good saves in that first half. Leeds were pretty much the only team in it for the first 30 to 35 minutes. And of course, Mr. Useless himself, Mr. Couldn't hit a barn door when he played for Crystal Palace. Lo and behold, who scores against Crystal Palace? It's the ex-player curse hitting us again. The one and only Mr. Patrick Bamford. Great header. Tyrick Mitchell not marking his man. The whole defence not deciding to pick up the striker who's a threat in the box. 1-0. And you're thinking, here we go again. We just get no luck at Leeds United. But just before the end of the first half, we get a goal back, and you're thinking, okay, that's decent. Take a point into half-time.
I think we got very lucky with how the ball bounced.
Oh, listen, who cares how it bounced? The fact is, it bounced in our favour, and Leeds should have let it bounce. So now another team has seen the ball bounce against them in our favour. So that's always good. But having said that, lads, were the lads watching Space Jam at half time? Because they must have been drinking that secret stuff from Michael Jordan's bottle. Because I swear to God, it was like watching a different team in the second half.
It was unbelievable. First things first, like I said, credit to Sam Johnston, man. Like, we know he has it in him, but he just can't stay fit. But boy, did he keep us in the game. And a lot of them were like really close reaction saves as well. You know, he couldn't do anything about Bamford's goal. That was on TM. He lost his man there. But he's literally said, I need to tell everyone that I'm the number one here. Like, and I'm hoping he starts again, whether or not VG is fit or not, you know, because I feel he deserves it. And that's not I'm not discrediting VG because he's done well for us this season. But after a performance like that, you don't want him to then sit on the bench again, you know, for his confidence in that. But yeah, we couldn't play. We generally couldn't play first half. And I noticed Lewington, literally, I think it was like after 20 minutes, he was just like, lads, just knock it long. Because we're trying to play out and we couldn't. And I could see him signaling, just knock it into channels and such. Because we've all been saying that their fullbacks are the most vulnerable area defensively for them. Attacking, they're good. They're good at going forward. But defensively, they're not. And I think after we started doing that, they started dropping off. Their fans got quiet. And we started to get a bit more control of the game. So it was a very key tactical change from the sidelines, which we don't normally see.
Well, yeah, that's one thing that we have to say about Roy is that even though he didn't make a tactical change during the game, he always made a tactical change at halftime, and that's just something Vieira just wasn't doing. I thought something that was quite key to point out was in almost all of the team's post-match interviews, apart from Ayu's, everyone said we haven't been playing like this lately, or like side digs at Vieira in a sense, or saying, "Oh, we haven't been doing this for a long time. I'm happy that this is happening now," that stuff like that. But the tactical change to make it so that Ayling wasn't overlapping, Firpo wasn't overlapping, just to hit it long because they were too afraid of being hit on the break just by going over the top. And I'm pretty sure we scored two goals in very quick succession, just doing the same thing.
Minutes.
Just over the top, down the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Ayling was in no man's land. Firpo was in no man's land. I think Ayling was at fault for two of the goals as well. And it was very simple, just over the top. We got the people to do it. Elise's got the skill to do it, and I tell you what, Eze is a different beast now because that point where there were two people hanging onto his shirt and he was still running away from them, thinking, how strong of a runner is this guy? But incredible performance. There's no digs I can say at anyone apart from the ref. How's Gnotto not been sent off at the end there? Are you mad? That's mental to me.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly jump into some comments here. So big up Thunder Road. He says that Eze celebration with his boots surrounded by smiling teammates is good enough to make the next intro song video montage. Yeah, we'll think about it. We'll think about it.
When I get home, we'll have a look.
He said, man like Roy Hefner, Mandem FC are cooking. We are cooking on it. Boy, it's been a while. 6 points, you know.
That's mad.
All of you lot that said we was getting relegated. Where are you now?
2 games, 7 goals, 46 shots, 6 points.
46
in 2 games.
Seven goals.
That's crazy.
In 2 games, which matches the 7 goals scored under Vieira before he got sacked.
Mad.
So we have it.
That is
Up the
crazy.
Palace Leeds relegation party soon. Big up to the chairman saying, wow, just wow, what a second half after weathering the storm. Thunder Road's moving a little bit mad here, JC. Neil, you're going to be a grandfather soon if these results continue.
That's a good one.
Neil says Thunder don't even go there. Hey, yo, big up Thunder. That was quality. Well done. Well played. Chris Welch is saying Hodgson ball, you know. Hey, listen, long live Roy ball. I'm shameless. I'm shameless, people. I'll happily say it. Roy Hodgson, I humbly, sincerely, and 100% wholeheartedly apologize for everything I've ever said, both on stream and on Twitter. I take it all back. You have changed how I feel about this football club right now, because honestly, the last 2 wins make up for a lot of heartache in the last couple of months.
Unbelievable.
Big up to Sean. Hey, yo, what happened to your boy Mateta today? What happened to him today? Vibes is saying it's sunny and warm here because Leeds got battered. Oh no! They didn't get battered. No. Battered was at 3-1. They got chefed at 5-1.
Put in a splitter, they would say.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So obviously, Chairman's just stated what JC said earlier. Big up to Tristan. What you saying, my guy? I watched some of his watch along. Hilarious. He started his fan calling show at 7:45. So some people jump on that if you want. Sorry, big up to Jackie. She's saying, Neil, who would have believed those stats? Nobody, because Palace having a shot on target is treated like a goal. But to see 47 shots in the last 2 games, lads, have we changed the water at Copa's Coke, do you reckon?
Yep.
I think we've imported some Russian water. If you know, you know. Earth Extreme, Nicky here saying refs have had a mare this weekend again. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
There's a
Brighton got the dirty, you know.
Game I'm not too happy with, but we move.
Did you see how the Lima elbowed Robertson in the face today?
Yeah. Yeah. Palace scored 2 goals against Leicester and beat Leeds 5-1 without Zaha. What's this about we're screwed without Zaha foolishness? I don't understand. Conte got sacked on purpose because he doesn't want to face Roy Hefner. Facts. Facts. I cannot wait to talk about this game on Tuesday's Premier League review. Absolutely. Roy's magic. You men are eating good. Large up Rich Mendes for securing Roy. Hey, big up to Brush.
It was the handshake outside Sellers Park.
Corey moving like geezers on you have been framed on the tackles. Big up that. The next bottle.
Do we have to apologise to Parrish as well? Because we was all cussing him for getting rid of Vieira.
No, but I think that's more so his lack of spending.
Yeah. Getting rid of Vieira, we kind of knew it would happen.
Yeah.
But the lack of spending is more peed to somebody. But there is an element of an apology there. You're right. And we'll address that towards the end. The next bottle of RHEA is going to be in celebration and not depression. Yeah. If you're watching, Brush mentioned RHEA, not us, just for clarification. Jackie says, Roy's style of management just suits the Palace players, whether you believe it or not. He just seems to understand. He's one of us. He knows what it is to wear that badge. He knows what it is to support this club. Vibes, of course, saying hashtag Rich Mendes. He tried to get that trending on Twitter. Big up to Reece saying hit that like and sub. Kurt, take us through our equalising goal because it was totally against the run of play. I was thinking going into half-time, if we can keep the scoreline down at 1-0 for the majority of the second half, I'll be happy. Against the run of play, but you have to make those chances count when we did. And I know we hit the post earlier, but what did you make of the equaliser?
I mean, there was so much in the build-up to it that I was really nervous about, to be honest. I did just want to say quickly, I think it's been so long since Sam Johnstone has played Premier League football. I mean, when you think about when we signed him from, I think it was West Brom, wasn't it? He was in a championship for a season before that. He's had very, long, lengthy spell on the sidelines through injury. To come in and play like that, that kept us in it to that moment. Yeah. And if that had gone 2-0 to Leeds at their ground, I just can't see a way where we'd have got back into that game. Coming onto the goal, I wanted to speak about Gueye because I think you said earlier, mate, I thought we had a very shaky first half. Few slips, few very loose passes. And I was just thinking, this isn't the Gueye we're used to. You know, it's something weird is happening here. And to kind of step up like that, I mean, I was really scared in the build-up to the goal that it came off Schlupp's arm because he jumps and I think it just hits him above on the shoulder, the back of the shoulder. And as you said, JC, kind of lucky bounce of the ball, but he manages to nick it just before Meslier gets his hands on it. And, at that kind of time in the game, you can't ask for anything more. I mean, that was the platform that allowed us to go into the second half that aggressive and inevitably go and win the game. But, of all the people to kind of come and score, it was Gueye after the first half he had. Just brilliant. 100%.
So, Rich, JC, halftime 1-1. We're all kind of thinking, okay, we're back in the game, admittedly against the run of play. But we were seeing warning signs that we were slowly growing into it because obviously Schlupp hits the post. You're thinking, Jeff, literally the smallest of centimeters, millimeters even, just a little bit more to the left and it could have been 1-0. But let's be real. Before that, Leeds really and truly should have been arguably 3 or 4-0 up prior to us getting the goal back. So it is an element of we got away with it, but also we punished them for not capitalizing on that early spell of dominance. Because what have we seen from us under Vieira? We look good, we're getting into the right areas, but we're not killing teams off.
Yeah.
What did we do tonight? We weren't just ruthless. We said, no, big man, sit down. We're in your house. We're going to take the drink out the fridge, put our feet up on your coffee table. We're going to whip that drink back like you're not even here. We showed no respect to them in their own home today. And that's what I want to see from us for the rest of the season. We were too nice for so many games under Vieira. You know? But you guys tell me what you thought about what were your halftime thoughts? How did you feel about it going into halftime?
I think Johnstone definitely kept us in it, because put it this way, as you said, that Leeds should have probably taken their chances better. But I reckon that some of those chances, like the free kick, for example, that Johnstone saved, like, you know, if, I don't know, I think some other keepers wouldn't actually get to it, because he gambled on one side, then sort of changed his mind, but then he was quick enough to actually get back over to where he was standing in the first place to make a great save. Sinistero should be scoring a few more of those shots. He should be getting a bit more on target. I think that was another thing. You know, just them not shooting on target, not being ruthless, and that's something that we've been complaining about Palace. But for once, we're actually ruthless in front of goal. I think that we had an extremely good shot conversion rate ever since Roy's come in with our shots on target, which is strange to see from a Palace team. We had, as you said, we had that Schlupp header, which he missed, which he hit the post. And then I think I remember Gay also had a free header, didn't he, that he put just wide, just before that or just after that. So I think going into half-time, Roy's saying, look, we're having chances, and all we've got to do is put that extra yard in. Like, you know, when we came out second half, we looked like we was running a bit more, we was having a bit more intent, we was winning the second ball a lot more, we was being a lot more direct, as we've already touched on, and it worked. Like, instead of passing around the back, making it long, trying to break them down, hitting them on the break, we found we got our flowers there, and then just rinse and repeat, and we done it 5 times, scored 5 goals. So we found a working formula at the end of the game.
Yeah. Rich, I'll come to you. Now, there's been a lot of criticism aimed at Eze and Elise. They can't play together. They don't suit the system. They're not able to play in the same team. How many times have the three of us, and I've seen Kurt say it a few times on Twitter as well, how many times have we said, if you play the right players in their correct positions or their preferred positions, you might see a little bit more effort? Now, obviously,
this coaching malarkey is easy, isn't it?
Listen, if Joe Bloggs over here can spot this, then how can these so-called True Eagles not spot it? Because don't forget, the True Eagles know everything about this football club. We're just the idiots on YouTube who don't know what we're talking about. But Onson Edouard was a player in the first half that I thought, is he on the pitch? Has anyone seen him? Like, did he get on the train from King's Cross earlier this morning? Because I haven't seen him on the pitch. But in the second half, it was a different team that walked out there. Talk to me, Rich. Yeah. The second half, were you thinking, oh boy, we might have to weather the storm? But as JC said, that second half, it was, yo, wait, we're the dominant team here.
From minute 1 of that second half, we were just on top. Like, I don't know what. I think Leeds felt sorry for themselves partly, but then also we couldn't have got any worse.
We
honestly,
could. OG Palace fans will remember a certain game in Swansea a few years back. I saw
that in the GC, and I was like, please don't put this in the atmosphere.
I was thinking, what is this judge? I was thinking, this is judge. Get that out of here. You're going to get barred from the GC. You do that. But you know what I'm saying? Rich? You're looking at yourself going, is this judge or is this?
No, delete. But no, we were brilliant, and because of that, it just created space. Like, Leeds then decided to drop off. And your question was Eze and Elise. Listen, you know when you just got your brethren, you're just playing in the park. That's how they're playing football right now. Like, literally, they're in the park, playing against grown adults who have families, and they're just like bopping it with each other. Like, you ain't getting the ball. Like, they're having fun. They're really enjoying themselves on the football pitch. And long may it continue, man. Eze sending sly shots in his post match. You know, like, it is what it is.
It's
like,
mad.
It is what it is. But it's so good to see. Michael's obviously, is it 3? The youngest player to get 3 assists in open play
Since the Premier League started checking their stats. He's the first to ever do it.
Really?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
First to ever
it's
do
a
it.
phenomenal stat.
3 assists
You know.
in 1 game.
Yeah, all from open play as well, aren't they? Yeah. So so you've got that, and if only he had scored that goal.
Oh,
Listen,
'Cause
had he made it
was
6-1,
sharp in.
had he made it 6-1, we would have been drunk on stream. We would have been drinking on stream, bruv. Because I'm telling you right
If
now.
he had a right foot, he would have sent this channel into meltdown.
Oh, trust me.
We would have got cancelled.
I'm not even going to lie, right? The Irish Crystal Palace group chat, we were all saying to ourselves, wait a minute, 3-1 was great. 4-1 was great. 5-1 is 5-1's a violation. I'm amazed if the team weren't arrested outside Ellen Road, bro.
5 goals. And you know what's mad? It could have been more. That's how nuts it is.
It's not even, it could have. That's the annoying thing. You're like, we're gassed at 5-1, but it should have been more.
I think the crazy thing about that chance as well was you see how annoyed Elise was at missing it. Even at 5-1, after the performance of his life, I mean, that's got to be one of the best performances of his career. In a Premier League, you know, kind of opposition, he misses a chance like that and he smashes the ground with his fist. I mean, the kid wants more. You know, he wants to be top level player. And to be honest, if he stays beyond summer, I will be amazed because he's going to have some big teams on his radar for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? Roy has said in his post-match as well, like that defensively as well, he's just becoming so much better.
Yeah.
And stuff. You can see his work rate's phenomenal and stuff. But there's a side, he's got a really edgy side to him, and I like it. It's kind of like the S-Housery sort of side to him. I mean, when he did this, unreal.
Look at Mark's face kills me though. I have to say, he's really sitting there like, did this guy really just say that?
But you know what's mad? Apparently, that's where the disabled section of Ellen Road is. Like,
yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
mad. Wait 1 second. What's going on there? But hey, look. I mean, in fairness, like, you could tell the Leeds fans were getting on our players' backs because that's what they do at Ellen Road. It's a bare.
I can't even put diagonally. It'll be that way, diagonally down there. That's a great comment.
Yeah,
Schlupp has been unbelievable.
Oh yeah, but remember,
it's
this
Roy
guy is
effect.
the devil. Remember, this guy is the devil apparently. And I'm thinking, were you not here when Jordan Much played in midfield for us? Were you here for that? Were you here when we had Jose Campagna and Max Meyer? Schlupp's not the greatest. He ain't going to be world class, but he does it. He puts in a shift. Yeah, he goes. He lets a lot of passes go missing and can't put a tackle in to save his skin. But at least he grafts. We've had midfielders that are all shiny and new and foreign, can't be bothered to even get a 5-yard pass out. And as that comment says, he is developing as a player, and it's wonderful to see because the amount of stick him and Ayew have been getting lately, they're earning their alleged new contracts at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everyone's going to be happy about it, but let's be honest, today, one of our best players scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
And me and Rich were laughing on the phone because we thought, nah. You mean to tell me a guy that's only scored 1 goal this season has just put 2 on his account?
If you're letting Ayew score 2 goals against you, announce relegation. Just do it.
Have you seen Ayew's post match? He said, "My second one, I thought I was offside, but I just put it in there anyway."
Big, I love it. Chairman say, I've never looked forward to Match of the Day 2 so much. 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
At extremities. I wonder if Roy did a Sir Alex by throwing pizzas in a rage to get the players pepped up during half time. We might have done that.
Have you done pepped up for pepperoni as well with that? You're clever. That was clever.
Very clever. That might earn a fake comment of the show, actually. Out of 8 shots on target, Palace scored 5 goals, which is really amazing. That is clinical.
Also, I'll be right back. Let me get my ring light.
Yeah. No worries.
That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about conversion rate, man. It's just incredible.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So, let's talk the goals, shall we? So the second half, wonderful ball played in from the right for Michael Olise, finds Jordan Ayew perfectly, near enough a mirror image of Bamford's goal. Bosch in the back of the net, or as they say in France, JC, Le Bosch. I know what you were trying to say, so it's all good. But Le Bosch, that's the one. Le Bosch. But oh my word, it was just perfect from start to finish. Great header, great finish. And then Elise decided he wanted another assist. And if Messi makes that assist, Ronaldo makes that assist, Neymar, Mbappe, Haaland, De Bruyne, the football world goes into full-blown meltdown. That was borderline violent, what they did to that Leeds defense. I don't think Pascal Struijk knows what happened yet. He's still in shock. Because he had no idea what happened until it was too late. Because that finish from Eze was cold.
Trust me. To be fair, I think with how Eze scored, I don't think he even had to touch the ball to score the goal. I think Elise's pass was so good they probably would have just rolled into the net.
It's arguable that could have happened, but I mean,
but it was so clean. Just how they linked up was
incredible.
Oh,
listen, that's just street ball. That is street ball at its best.
Yeah.
But Kurt, it's 3-1, and we're thinking, okay, cool, lads, sit on this. Don't go too crazy and overcommit and run the risk of them getting a second. But again, Elise decides, no, I'm not done yet. I want another assist. And of all people, for all the crap that he gets on social media, Hodgson Edouard does what he does best: put it in the net. Great finish. At 4-1, what were you thinking? Because I was thinking, it's 4-1. What's going on? Well, we don't score more than a goal a game. Now all of a sudden, we got nosebleeds. All of a sudden, like, did somebody not take the hay fever medication or something? This is crazy. 4-1.
That goal made me the happiest, to be honest, out of all of them, because we know there's a lot of people in the fan base, including myself, that have been crying out for Edouard to get a run of games. And even though Mateta got that late goal last week, people were saying, no, keep Edouard in the team, keep Edouard in the team. And as soon as Elise gets it in our half, you can see him. He's looking up. He's looking for his options. He's got runners. And we haven't seen that. Watching Palace, we've not seen that in ages. He's got people busting guts to get forward and get on the score sheet. And he looks at his mate Eze, who I thought he was going to go for 100%. And he didn't. He goes for Edouard. And he just looked to me like he was too far out wide to be getting that in from there. And he strikes it like he's just been scoring 30 goals at Celtic. Like it's the same player. The player that we really haven't seen since early Vieira, where he had that string of games where when he scored at the Emirates, that kind of form. And that really made me happy, because I thought, if we're going to go and thump a team like we did today, it's great having your creative players on the score sheet, but you want your goal scorers on the score sheet too, because coming into the fixtures we've got, if Edouard is high in confidence against those teams, that could prove massive for us. It really could.
100%. So big up to Tom Clark. He says the criticism was warranted, but it is looking obvious who was the demise of these players. And Tom, I'll be the first to admit it. You kind of did mention this a few shows before Vieira was sacked, and we weren't necessarily the nicest about it to you. So I'm going to apologize on my own behalf. I was happily admit, I'm not ashamed to admit I was wrong. Yeah, I think, look, Vieira was a great experiment, but he wasn't backed. He wasn't willing to change. So it was half a case of the board messed up and half a case he messed up. But more importantly, bringing back Roy Hodgson, it wasn't everybody's personal choice, but the last two results, I'm not ashamed to admit it. As I said, I'm shameless. The board got it spot on. I don't even care, bro. Like, you saw I put out an apology tweet already. That's how shameless I am. I'm not even ashamed of it. I said, sorry, I'm getting it out of the way already. But Jaybird TV says, Edouard scoring is hopefully the spark to see him scoring consistently. Can he stay in the team, though, is the question. Because we've seen this before where Vieira would drop Mateta for 1 or 2 games, Edouard wouldn't score. So everyone's saying, well, Edouard was meant to be the guy. Everybody crowing for Edouard, he was meant to be the guy, he wasn't scoring. So it all depends now on how these players take into the... What's our next game? Southampton, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what Players team turns up against them, because if we play against them like we did in the Premier League when we won 1-0, yeah, it could be a bit ropey. If we play like we did when we played them in the FA Cup, oh boy, not looking forward to it. But having said that, this comment here says Eze got his confidence back. I'll try and pronounce what that. I'm not going to try and butcher that, so I don't know. But he says Eze got his confidence back. He certainly did. He certainly did. Did you see Roy shaking all of the Palace players and staff's hands a minute before the final whistle blew? That was so cool. I'm not going to lie. That was, and the fact that he shook Joe Whitworth's hand as well. That's like, that is literally massive generation gap between Roy Hodgson and Joe Whitworth, and he's still taking time out to give him a handshake. Like, this performance will be looked on as probably the game that saved us from relegation. It hasn't confirmed that we're safe, but it is the result that we thought, right, we can go out there and give any team a game if we play to the best of our ability. Now, granted, not everybody's going to be as bad as they were today. Let's be fair here. But I don't fear Southampton after having played like that. I certainly wouldn't fear playing Nottingham Forest and these teams. On a day, we can surprise anyone, but it's about how we approach these couple of games. A big up to John Cena himself. Unbelievable result today. Oh, no, it's believable, Luke. It happened. The proof is right down there at the bottom of the screen.
He can literally do this today, and no one can tell him nothing.
Sorry, Rich, how many goals did we score again? But we're going to drop the link for the call-in section because we're not going to be here all night. We do have another show to do later on this evening. So I'm going to quickly post the link in the chat now. So if you want to have your say, people, the link is now live, both on our Facebook page and here on YouTube. The second IU goal. Rich, you're a man who rightly has questioned, how does this guy get in your club team and your national team? But nothing can take away from his 2 goals today, surely.
No, absolutely nothing. The one thing I've always said is no one can question his work rate and such for us. Obviously, you then look on the flip side of it, it's like work rate's not going to get us up the table, you know? And I think the issue with Ayew is that as much as he works hard defensively, it's not like he creates anything going forward. We're seeing a brand new Ayew at the moment. Coincided with the fact that he's actually playing on the left-hand side, which I noticed for Ghana during the World Cup. He played okay on the left-hand side, which was weird and stuff. And he's doing that again now. That's 2 goals and an assist in 2 games from that left-hand side. Now, I'm not saying that we don't need Wilf back, because obviously Wolf is such a great player for us. But it's nice to see that we're coping without him, because that was always one of the biggest fears, you know. And we've got to kind of get to that stage where we think we're not going to be playing with him anyway, because at the end of the season we're expecting him to go. Not saying that I used to answer at all, but we need someone to fill that role. Now, listen, if Southampton go down, go run me Sulemana for on the cheap, because that relegation should be able to decrease his. Because I mean, he's got to work on his finishing, but boy, he's a threat. You know, he's a real threat. Or just bring Ratsaki back up to be on the bench at least. I think he needs a championship loan though, but put Ratsaki on the bench. See what happens with Malcolm down the left-hand side. We've got options, hopefully, but
well, to be fair, if you look at our relegation rivals right now, you could look at some of them and say, "Yo, their left wingers are actually decent." Like you could say with Leicester, you'd have Harvey Barnes, definitely. You'd have Sulemana. You probably have Sinistera or Somerville or Gnotto from Leeds. Yeah. So there's players out there which could be relegated this season that we could get on the cheap. But I think that you've hit it on the head there. Sulemana is probably the one that you'd go for, but I don't think they'd take that much of a hit on him because they still spent 30-something million on him, didn't they? 35 million. It was a big price tag.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a relegation clause in this contract. Surely
there's got to be. And I think we can't even think about Lavia because man's going back to City. I guarantee it.
He's so cold.
Yeah, he's wicked. Pat, welcome to the show, my guy. What are you saying? 5-1 win. How you feeling?
how beat can you be? Are you scored?
He didn't just score; he scored twice.
1-2.
He did an actual brace, JC, didn't he?
A proper brace.
Yeah.
He said, "Do you want this one, or do you want to double it and give it to the next person?" He doubled it.
He said double or
No
nothing.
hesitation. Sorry.
Nah, he was cold. So, Pat, we've obviously spoken about it. So let's hear how did you feel about the game as the game went on? So talk us in from when Bamford scored for them.
I was like, come on. Can this guy just leave his beep house 3 goals? Well, it wasn't a beep house 3 goal because it was a decent goal, but like I don't think he hasn't scored for ages. And can you just leave your goal that you haven't scored in ages to another person? I mean, another team. I was like, oh my goodness! Of course he scores. Of course he scores.
Yeah, everybody
2
had
goals
that
all
sentiment.
season.
Yeah,
and he scores against us.
Yeah. He probably looks on his calendar saying, "Oh, we're playing Palace. Oh, let's put my shooting boots on that I haven't been using because I've been like cleaning it up for today." And what does he do? He scores. Bruh.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Pat. You're not wrong. But big up to Alan Sedgwick. He's saying, yes, come on, you Palace. 100%, mate. 100%. Big up to Tom Clark here for saying, more thumbs up, guys. We need to support these guys. Definitely, people, smash the like button while we're live on stream. All your support is appreciated. CP23, long time no see, good buddy. How you doing? He says, we look relaxed, and man, when last did I see our team just oozing with confidence? And by the way, we look like they were pushing for more goals even though we're 5 up. Just a masterclass from Roy. Couldn't have put it better myself, mate. I think from the minute we equalised, it was quite clear. Hodgson said, "Lads, kill them off," because that equaliser deflated them and elevated us. It literally gassed us up to the point we were like, "What are we doing 1-0 down to these bums? They're not better than us." So just an all right, a wonderful performance. But let's go around the panel and get the player ratings out the way, because we don't want to be here all night. We could talk about this game all night, but we all have to do stuff. I know that there's Get Amped to talk about later on as well. So we'll run across the panel here to talk about the player ratings. So starting with the one and only Mr. Rich, Sam Johnston.
I really want to give him a 10, but we conceded, which is not his fault. But I'll give him a 9. Excellent debut. Did you not notice how like the players at the back just seemed a lot more comfortable as well passing to him?
Yeah.
As like it's these little subtle differences that make.
Well, we said that at Oxford, didn't we? When he was playing, Gay and Anson just looked a lot more comfortable passing to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Because his kicking is incredible.
That's really good. But a 9, unreal performance.
Yeah, no more hospital passes, because what have I said the whole time under Guaita? It's hospital passes. JC, Joel Ward.
I'll probably say, even though he didn't have a bad performance, I'll probably say that him and Mitchell probably would get the same rating from me. I'll give them both a 7. I don't think that they were outstanding, but they done the job, and I think that he was hard done by getting a yellow, because he got the ball and didn't even make contact with Bamford.
By the way, has anybody checked in on Bamford? Is he okay from his little fall over? Because I'm fairly certain he must have tripped on an invisible wire or something.
I think he was trying to get himself taken off the pitch a little earlier because he knew where the game was headed.
Yeah. Probably. Kurt, I'll move to you next. Mark Gay.
I think Gay, as I said earlier, really shaky first half before, he kind of stepped up. But him being, in my opinion, rightful captain of Palace, that's what he should be, permanently, steps up when we need him, gets that goal at a crucial time in the game. And then from there, going into the second half, him and the back line just look comfortable. But I think when a player comes back from a shaky performance early in the game, to come and grow into the game like he did, that's a sign of a real player. and we definitely got one on our hands with him. So Gay, I think him getting the goal as well. Do we do half points on this channel? I'll give an 8.5, maybe even a 9.
You can do a half point if you want, mate. It's up to you. You give the rating you feel most comfortable with.
I'll give an 8.5. I'll give an 8.5.
Okay. I'll take your Kim Anderson, seeing as I haven't given a rating yet. First half, the back line looked a lot shaky, very nervous, not particularly on their game. But second half, I don't think Leeds didn't have a single shot in the second half. So it was just lockdown settings. It was COVID lockdown settings. They just got shut down properly. So if I go anything over a 9, I'm being remarkably generous. So I'll say 8. I'll say 8 for Joachim Anderson. Pat, Tyrick Mitchell.
Well, in the first half, I thought, oh, why are you bickering with the ref all the time and make silly fouls? But he recovered and he went up, and him and Lise were a bit of fresh air. I would say I'm going to give a 6, not quite 7, but I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It wasn't his worst game, I would say.
I think he was the weakest out of a good team.
Oh yeah, by far, he definitely was. JC, I'll come back to you. Shek Decore.
Man didn't get booked again.
Man was fucking yellow cards like a jail sentence, bro.
Wow, two games in a row. I thought he took a lot more risks with the ball in this game, which I was a bit surprised about. He tried to dribble his way out of certain situations where he would have normally passed, but as always, Rolls Royce DM, isn't he? He's just calm on the ball. Even when he was under pressure, he was still calm. I think he had a few lax passes, but then again, he also made some incredible, awkward crosses for defenders to deal with. I think one that comes to mind was that one when Meslier punched slapped square in the face after they both went for the ball. I'll give Decore an 8. I think he played really well. I don't think he did anything outstanding to earn himself a 9 or a 10, but I think 8, definitely.
100%. Kurt, I'll come to you next. Jordan, are you?
Jordan, for me, especially after his kind of recent goal scoring record, he doesn't deserve anything less than a 10, for being honest, does he? I mean, getting on the score sheet twice, drawing players away with some of his runs, his work rate all game, as always, was just impeccable. I mean, the finishing today was... I had to kind of say, we're actually watching Jordan. Are you here? I mean, really?
That header was nuts. That's how hard it is to generate power from that distance.
It was just unbelievable.
It sent Aylin to the shops many times as well.
Yeah. Sent him to the shops? No, he sent him to Asda, Morrison's, BHQ, you name it. He sent him to B&Q. He sent him to all of them stores.
But he links the play quite well as well. Very well with Eze and Elise. Even with Edouard in the mix, he just gets in those right position, knows where to release the ball today, especially. For me, 10.
100%. Pat, I'll give you. Let's go with Ebere Eze.
Man was cold. He sent the defenders to the chippy. He was swerving, and he was quality. I'd say a 10 out of 10. I'd say 10 out of 10 because I felt like Ayling was falling over. He was sliding all over the pitch.
100%. I'll give Jeffrey Schlupp an 8. Wasn't particularly amazing, wasn't particularly terrible, but comfortably one of his better performances. I'll give the star boy, in my opinion, to Rich Michael Elise.
Yeah, can I give an 11?
Mate, you can give a 100, a 1,000, a 100.
I'm gonna have to like Pat. This has got nothing to against you and Ezzy's rating, but Elise is man of the match. It's man of the match today. But Ezzy was superb as well, so I just have to give Elise. I'll give him a higher score. I know it's out of 10, but I'll give Elise 11.
No, 100%.
We could say Eze gets a 9, Elisa gets a 10. Just keep it in the boundaries.
Yeah. We can do that.
We'll do that. Sorry, Pat.
It's all good. JC, last but not least, odds on Edouard.
I think for him having a very non-existent first half, but then making a nuisance of himself, putting himself around, making the run. He doesn't normally make the run. As me and Dan always saying in Tact Eagle, he actually made a different run to his other runner. So he had at least had 2 options. And I tell you what, I know Meslier probably should have done a bit better, but to find the corner that far out on a tight angle was a great finish.
As well.
On his weaker foot, I've got to give him an 8. I think that was an incredible finish, and his work rate in purely the second half was incredible. Unfortunately, he went off. He looked a little bit shaky when he went off, so I hope he's not injured, but I think he definitely deserves an 8.
Yeah, 100%. So before we cut out, because we're going to probably jump off because we're more or less finished with the show, we'll go around the panel and get everybody's man of the match. Rich, I'll start with you. You're clearly going to give it to Michael Elise.
Yep.
No need to explain why. I mean, his stats alone.
Michael Elise, yeah.
His stats alone explain why he's man of the match. I personally will already say that I agree. Michael Elise is my man of the match. JC, who's your man of the match?
I'll throw a spanner in the works just purely because I know everyone else is going to say Michael Elise. I'll probably say Sam Johnstone because if it wasn't for him, Elise wouldn't have shone. And I think,
yeah. And
definitely. I think that's a pretty fair thing to say. I think Sam Johnstone, for the fact he hasn't played a Premier League game since his last game for West Brom in the Premier League, to come in and assert yourself like that and to make that many good saves, to keep us in the game, to then allow our attacking players to flourish, I reckon he deserves my man of the match.
No, 100%. Can't argue with that. Very solid logic. Kurt, we'll start with you. Who's your man of the match?
I rate the Johnston pick, JC. I think Eze's got to be in of a shout as well. You know, even Ayew, but for me, it's just Elise. Just an unbelievable performance. One that I'd love to see that we'd see more of those performances. But I mean, how easy is it to kind of pull those off? It's kind of a once in a blue moon performance from a player like that. So, yeah, Elise for me, just sensational.
Yeah. Just so people are realizing that geezer only cost us £8 million. Dougie Friedman, thank you so much. Reading, you got your you should have elevated that release clause. What were you thinking? Thank you for not realizing that, but like just a genius bit of business. But Pat, last but not least, who's your man of the match?
Michael Elise, because I mean I almost started saying when he was driving forward, you're gonna Messi, goal. But
what did he just say?
Oh, I mean, I don't know Spanish, so I don't know what they said. But like, it's basically a meme.
Was that an attempt at Spanish?
No.
Okay. Oh dear. One second. That's a timeout on that one. That's got to be timed out just for a few seconds.
Is that what was that one? La Bosch.
La Grande Bosch, senor. La Grande Bosch.
Look at this comment.
Me gusta.
Big up vibes. Jude Webb saying, Michael Elise, what a player. The Palace fans at the match get a rating of 10, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Sky's ratings.
We have to remember to do the fans. Sorry, we keep forgetting to do the fans. Yeah.
Oh, no, listen. Make sure you stay tuned for Statman Dan's vlog of the game because I'm looking forward to that. 100%. But these are the ratings that Sky gave for our players. So as you can see, quite a lot of high ratings there. I mean, Elise obviously got 10.
It's quite similar to ours, actually, to be fair.
Very similar, yeah. I think it's not just Palace that are watching eagle-eyed football, Rich. I told you this would happen. But big up to Niall Kane. He's saying big up, lads. Big up to you, Niall. Hope you're well, my guy. And Sean's probably busting laughing from Pat getting a little bit of a timeout. And speaking of Pat, you're back in the room there, yeah? Just no more trying to speak some dodgy kind of Spanish. We're not going to get cancelled.
If you know, you know, just type up Messi solo goal and you'll know, you know, it's the commentary. I need to recover myself after that absolute bamboozle of attempt.
I think Duolingo's got a free trial, mate, so try that out.
Might need that. Yeah, I think Elise is probably he's probably the best person on the pitch by a mile. And just to go back to Decore, I know this is Elise's show, but I'd say I didn't know, but Decore's actually got the most amount of interceptions in the league. Did you know? So maybe that defense is being elevated.
Yeah, his reading of the game, is phenomenal.
Yeah. Silky smooth.
That's what we paid the money for, though. That's what we paid the money for. Because how many times have we said it last season? We need a DM that can just anchor the entire defensive structure of the team, and that's what he does brilliantly. But people, that's pretty much it for the rest of the show. Before we go, though, it has to be said, people, thanks for tuning in. But we'll give everybody a chance to shout themselves out, starting with none other than Mr. Kurt himself. Give yourself a shout out there, my friend.
Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, just Kurt_CPFC on Twitter. You know, some very questionable opinions from my behalf, but massive Palace fan. And love joining the channel. So thanks for having me on again, boys.
No, it's a pleasure to have you, my guy. It's always good to have you on. And you should jump on more often. Definitely should jump on more often, especially when we win. He's a good luck charm, lad. I think we need to make sure that he jumps on when we win, especially when.
No doubt.
I'll try my best.
Eagle-eyed abroad.
All right, so I think it's there. All right, cool. That's okay. So even in foreign ends, that isn't my room. I know exactly where to point. But yes, guys, please like, share, subscribe. Check out episode 1 of Player Stories. It's out now.
Yeah,
We've
that
done
was
it
incredible,
on
by the way.
Wilfred Zaha. A poll. I'm going to do a spin wheel in the comments. So if you guys want to put your suggestions on who to cover next, put it in the comments down below on that video, and I'll put that in the hat, and we'll see who gets drawn next. So hopefully you guys can see that in the next couple of weeks, because they take a really long time to do. So I can't really give you a time frame. But always, guys, up the Palace. What a win. What a win.
Pat, shout yourself out there, mate.
Well, I'm just going to be here talking waffle. But honestly, no hablo español. I don't speak Spanish. I don't.
Duolingo's already working.
I mean, everyone pretty much knows that.
So much better.
Although I think that might be a Google Translate job, but we'll let you away with it for this one.
VAR says that's correct.
At least you're honest.
As you can see, I actually haven't put that on the thing, so I can't. There's nothing for me to print.
No, but they know where to find you. It's at Eagle.
Yeah, on Twitter is at Eagle-eyed Ball. So yeah, and find us here. We're here working. We're here working.
Yeah. I would do the pointing thing, but unlike Nicky, I'm not getting clipped on stream, so you know where to see it. It's there at the bottom of the screen. At Nate Ide on Twitter. You can catch me talking a whole heap of ish on my own personal account. Not so much on the channel account, but more importantly, people, we're Eagle-eyed Football, and luckily that's 2 wins in a row. It's weird, isn't it, winning games of football? What happened? I love being Misery FC. It was wicked. Now they've made my misery go away. It's just, it is what it is. But people, we're Eagle-eyed Football. Leeds 1, Crystal Palace 5. Dan, when you watch this back, just make sure Steve gets back to London safely, because I don't think he'll get out of Leeds alive. Up the Palace, and we'll see you later.
Adios. Adios. Adios.
Questions to ask, right? A campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch. Good times are coming on EMPHATIC diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along. Still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.